Hi, this is Keith Reed, editor, Fuel Marketer News, here at the NACS Show PEI Conference 2014. I'm here with Paige Anderson of NACS. We're going to talk about some of the legislative issues that are kind of on the front burner right now. And NACS has always been very aggressively involved in supporting the industry's needs legislatively. And I think we've got some developments now with the RFS, an ongoing issue for a bit. And could you tell us a little bit about what's happening now and kind of how NACS is positioning itself with that issue?
Well, like so many other people, we are waiting for EPA to release the 2014 volumes. They were supposed to release it 10 months ago. Here we are in October 2014 waiting for 2014 numbers. We're hoping EPA will keep their numbers and volumes of ethanol close to what they proposed 10 months ago.
Right.
We think our industry can meet those numbers. NACS testified before EPA and met with OMB in support of those numbers. So we're keeping our fingers crossed and hoping they release those numbers soon. We anticipate it would probably be after the election sometime in November.
Right. I think election season tends to put the brakes on everything about after St. Patrick's Day.
Exactly,
I believe, right up until the ballots are cast and everything gets back to work. I think another issue, and there's been so many recent headlines in the news lately that really draw attention to it, is data security, and obviously it's been a big issue in the industry. Including some push from the credit associations with various PCI requirements and whatnot. So can you tell us a little bit about what's going on with data security?
Sure. I'm sure you see every day a new news story of yet another data breach being faced. This morning, Dairy Queen is the latest merchant being faced with a data breach. We had JP Morgan Chase was in the news last week with one of the largest data breaches we've seen in history.
I'm still worried about Home Depot myself right
We have
now.
Home Depot, and we're still feeling the effects of the Target data breach.
Right.
And this is happening to everybody. Everybody is vulnerable to a data breach. And it's not just the young kid who maybe dropped out of college that has great computer skills that's trying to steal. I mean, we're facing threats by organized crime, international crime syndicates, nation states are coming after our financial information. So really, it's a problem that is facing everyone.
Right.
Whether you're a small operator or a large operator, you're going to be having to spend a lot of time trying to mitigate that risk for those data breaches. For our smaller store operators, that's a high cost. So, the threat is there, everybody is affected. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of folks on the policy side in terms of Congress and the administration doing what needs to be done. Most of the effort tends to be in industry organizations such as PCI.
Right.
The latest technology that they're looking at is we're going to go from the magnetic strip of credit cards to the chip technology. So folks, when they get their new credit cards, are going to see a new configuration, and how we make that technology as safe as possible for the consumer is really going to be a challenge.
And I think it is one of those things where it's not just the small operators that are getting hit. I mean, even big operators that you would assume put a tremendous amount of resources into this, big companies are vulnerable, and it's unfortunately, I think for the industry, even though there's costs involved, it's one of those things that if you're going to take credit, it's really hard to see a way out of trying to find a solution to this right now.
There are a lot of great folks who are trying to do the right thing to make those payment platforms safer. Unfortunately, the credit cards have been a little resistant on some of those changes. One of the things that we could do as retailers is to accept PIN along with the credit card, the chip and PIN. You hear that phrase all the time, and move away from the signature authentication on these payment platforms. A lot of our stores require punching in our zip code when we use a credit card at the pump. And just that simple use has reduced fraudulent charges at least by 40%. So can you imagine if you had using your 4-digit code along with your zip code, how much safer it could be for you.
And of course, once we get all that security, I'm sure the debit fees and credit fees will drop because how secure everything's going to be.
Of course. Unfortunately, not the case. But the important thing is keeping us safer.
No, I agree, and it is an issue I think we all have to be concerned about.
Right. No, there is nobody that is truly safe when it comes to data breaches and data security, unfortunately.
Well, Paige, thank you very much.
It was a real pleasure. Thank you for being
Indeed.
here.